Good morning, good morning. Happy Thursday. Almost the end of a low volatility week. All right, so here's the overview so far. I've taken 4 trades, a win, a loss, and 2 break-evens. However, the break-evens were like slightly negative, which I sometimes expect when I'm breaking even, within the first 15 minutes of market open, just because the volatility is so high. So I will come back a little bit to show you the trades that I took. First trade was divergence, which you can see here won. Then coming down, I had a sell here that lost, which this one was kind of questionable, to be honest with you. It didn't happen too many times in my back testing, which is why I just went ahead and took it. But we'll see if I end up keeping that one. Got into another sell off of the double top here, but I wasn't sure if my exit parameter showed up or not. So just as a precautionary measure, I went ahead and I broke even just in case, which you can see I actually would have ended up winning that particular trade. The drawdown would have been pretty minimal. Got into another trade here. This one was actually invalid. The entry closed right on my like the actual close price was the exact price of my minor line. So anytime that happens, I don't take the trade. I didn't have my chart centered enough for me to see that what the actual close was going to be, so that was just my fault. And that should be the only trades that I took. I think I just counted 4, yeah. So here's where we are right now. Low impact news just hit. We have another low impact news event at 9:30 Central. I did have a little bit of data lag earlier. My lag was about 0.3 seconds, which I don't like seeing it that high. I'm just so used to it being under 0.05. It took about the first, I would say maybe 5 minutes or more of the market open for it to drop. Typically, I see it a little bit higher pre-market, but then as soon as the market opens, within about 45 seconds, I usually will see it dropped to where it's supposed to be. So I did end up forcing the sync on Rhythmic twice, which did not work. So eventually it just came down on its own. And now it's sitting at about 0.03 seconds. So I can definitely tell volume is higher today than it has been all week, because typically I see the total daily volume around like 275,000 by the time I get off at 11 a.m. And it's already at 211,000, and we're just at 9 o'clock in the morning. So we're 2 hours early and only missing about 65,000 volume. So we got a little bit of movement, which is nice. Just a lot of playing around the mid VWAP line right now. I did do quite a bit of back testing last night. I think I said out loud yesterday that there was a trade where my overall bias was an uptrend. We were trading below my major line, and there was really decent divergence that just caused it to shoot up. And so I have noticed that pattern quite a bit actually, but I just always thought I couldn't trade it. And I believe that, no, you know what? I did keep that out of my back test now that I think about it. The original back test that I did when I had switched bar sizes and, back tested my strategy. So I ended up back testing from when I got off of the markets yesterday at 11 o'clock until about probably 9 o'clock at night. I'm really meticulous and very analytical. So I recorded all the trades that I saw, went ahead and did all the analysis, and yeah, there isn't much that changes from the regular way that I trade, the divergence. There's just slight differences. So if we get one of those setups today, I will go ahead and take it because it is set up so far 4 times this week alone and they all won. So yeah. All right, 1.2. Oh, we are no longer centered. Let me recenter. There we go. There's like one more, I wouldn't say strategy, but setup that I do want to start taking a look at. It's basically trading the outside bars on the Renko, especially like if there are certain things that happen on the chart that causes me to not trade. And a lot of times what ends up happening is I would have lost. However, the loss was created by an outside bar. So if I just be patient and instead take the trade off the outside bar, I'd be fine. So I'm going to look into that for sure. For sure. It's set up, see, once so far today, possibly twice. It depends on how I want to trade this, but what did I say? 1.2. Nope. Just created a double bottom right here. But it's counter trend for me, so all of my levels right now are all weak levels, so I don't want to take any trades off of them. The minor level, mid level, and major level are all weak. So any sales that happen around that area, I'm not going to take. And Sometimes when I see all three of them pop up weak at the same time, that's when we'll start to see a reversal. So I wouldn't be surprised if this reverses into an uptrend for a little while, but we'll see. And it might just consolidate for a while. Excuse me. I'm gonna remove these lines real quick. Sometimes they get in my way. Looking to sell around 55. But we'll see. The market moves up. My entry, of course, will move up with it. See if this mid-level will hold it. Nope. All right, so we're trading above my major level right here. As long as the overall trend doesn't change, which it hasn't yet, I'm looking to take a sell. Right now, my entry would be 76.50. As long as we, yeah, as long as we don't get up to this VWAP line, which is where it's going. All right, won't take it just yet. I don't want it to wick off of the VWAP. In order for me to get into it, it needs to close over it instead of wicking like it's doing right now. Alright, that one would have taken profit. I'm okay with that. Would have looked something like this. And this is why I don't take them off of the VWAP, the mid VWAP line. So my mid line is always the white one. So this one back here would have won, but then this one would have lost. So, and that's why I don't take them. All right, so my overall bias is now officially changed from a downtrend to an uptrend, which I literally called out. What was that? About 8 minutes ago. I was saying how all of my levels were weak levels, and I wouldn't be surprised if they moved from there and everything changed into an uptrend, and now that's where we're at. So still a lot of moving back and forth to and from the VWAP, the midline. If it reverses up here, I will get into the buy. But it can't go down to 90.75. If it does, it'll be invalidated. It's just a lot of weird movement. 1, 2. I couldn't tell if my exit perimeter was there or not, so sometimes these bars just move so fast. I would have just taken profit too, so that's annoying, but I'd rather be safe than sorry, honestly. I definitely would have taken profit though. It reversed right after. My exit was up there. Alright, so it's still slightly negative. Sometimes that first trade after the market changes directions just gets kind of weird. I want to look at, yeah, I don't have that. All right. Hopefully I get some trades I can actually stay in. Let me save my workspace. I hate when this thing crashes and then all the little text that I put on the chart is gone. Then I have to remember when I'm journaling what actually happened. So it was a nice trade though. All right, so we got news in about 7.5 minutes. Which some people don't care about the low impact or even the medium impact news. I personally do. I think that all scalpers, excuse me, should pay attention to all news events because depending on your strategy, you might find that that first minute of low impact news, depending on your strategy, you might be losing around that time, like in that first 60 seconds. And then with the medium impact news, the first 2 minutes, the market can be really erratic depending on how low of a time frame chart or a Renko chart or a tick chart, whatever. Depending on how low your settings are, your trades might be affected by it. So you have to really pay attention. So since it's low impact, I can continue to trade until 9:29, and then I'll stop for 2 minutes and then I'll start back. Let's see, 410. So highly doubt I'll be able to get into the buy. Yeah, that's already invalidated. Too much of a volume push off of the VWAP for me to be comfortable getting into the buy right now. And even if I did, the VWAP is right above my entry, so I would automatically just break even anyway. Because my entry would be 31.50 and the VWAP is at 31.88. So basically one tick and 2 ticks and I would have to break even. But I'm glad to see the market's actually moving. So we're almost at what, since probably like Wednesday of last week is when I really started paying attention to what the daily total volume would be by the time I'm done trading at 11. We're pretty much at that volume already, an hour and a half early. Alright, so I can actually trade it now. Maybe, maybe not. $10.7. My goodness. Look at that drop from the VWAP. And we're right back at the mid-level. Oh, gracious. Green. Goodness. was that plan? Alright, so now my overall bias has changed back to a downtrend. It just did a couple seconds ago. Alright, and now I'm gonna take a 2-minute break for news. See what happens. The one thing I am happy about is most of my back testing that I did to create my strategy, I used like pretty high volatility markets to create it. And I just like the fact that it's transitioning well into the slower markets. I mean, the market's moving today, but prior to today, it has not been moving very much. But it's nice to see that it still works out. I can show you my P&L since last Wednesday, which last Wednesday was the first day that I kind of traded it this way. Have some trades missing, but let's see if I can do this. All right, so this is my P&L here, which I'll make it bigger. So you can see that I'm up about $2,100 since last Wednesday. And most of that is from 3 accounts because I just added the 4th account in this week. So I'm doing pretty decent. I think I'm finally where I want to be. But we'll see. We will see. All right. Nope. See if we can get a push up. If it could stay above my minor level, possibly. But I do have an order sitting for the sale. If not, actually the sale is now invalid. So hopefully we could just push on up to a take profit, and there it goes. All right, so we're back positive. That's nice. So in order for me to get into a sell at this time, it's gonna have to close above my major level up here because of the way it came off the minor. All right, so we're back around this mid VWAP line that we love to come back to. I don't take any trades that rotate across the midline, so I like to use the midline to kind of determine what direction things are trying to go to. So like this close right below it, I wouldn't want to take a trade closing right back above it. That's what I consider like a rotation. And I think this is gonna crash. I called it. Jeez Louise. It's something to do with Streamlabs because I don't ever have crashing issues when I'm not streaming. Before I was streaming, I never had crashing issues. So I'm going to have to figure out what the hell that is because that's annoying. I could miss out on trades because of that, especially how long it takes to reload. Ugh. All right, so let me put the positions back in the accounts tab. So annoying. I don't know what the true. Okay, so that's fine. Just came to my major level and just pushed back down. It's back at the major level again, however, pushed up off of the VWAP, so I'm not going to take a trade back, going back in that same direction. At least not right now. If it pushes up far enough, I will. Alright, I'm looking for sales right now. My major level is pretty close. Well, not anymore. Alright. See if we can keep pushing down. My minor level is here, which it just pushed up off of. Let's see if there's enough volume pushing down to get to there we go. Back at the midline again. about an hour and 20 minutes left in this session. 2.6. This mid-level is a magnet. I could get into a buy right now, but I'm not going to. Because of the way it pushed off of this level up here. But if it pushes down a little bit more, it would be invalidated anyway. I was gonna say, please don't crash on me again. That would not be okay. All right, so the buy was invalidated anyway because it was too big of a push off of that pivot point. The yellow dot is basically a pivot point. And we're back below the mid VWAP level. I wouldn't be surprised if we go test it. I can't get into that buy because it's rotating off of the mid VWAP. So, and that would close right at my major level. So overall bias is still a downtrend. And all my levels right now are pretty strong. So, save it again. Yeah, it might be some foolery that continues to happen around the VWAP, so I'm just gonna sit out and see what happens. You hear the doorbell? That's just reversal bars painting, basically. It's my alarm for my reversal bars. All right, so on the first three accounts, well, not counting the middle, of course, my trailing drawdown is back to the initial balance of 2,500 and 1,500 for these two. And then this last account here, it's like $3 away. Been consolidating here for about 4 minutes. Could push up from here. And it could also just come back down. Is that gonna crash? Oh. I guess the price was just stuck. That's my major level. Here's the mid level, and then the minor levels like down here. So anytime they all start to get really close together, especially when a VWAP is running through the middle of them, I always suspect that this kind of behavior is going to happen. Matter of fact, I'm going to save my workspace every time I type something on my chart just to save myself the headache later. see. No, 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 no. Just a double top here, double bottom here. I do take some trades that end in a double top or double bottom, but it has to be certain circumstances. And I definitely don't take them if a double top and double bottom are like in the same swing. What is the 93.25? That's where that one closed. Still consolidating between my levels. Sorry I keep deleting them, but they get in the way sometimes of me being able to see. It is nice to see the volume push today. We're already at 300,000 volume for the day. But I was still able to trade just fine. Even when the volume was low. It did cause me to break even a lot more. Excuse me. But I'm still overall positive since I saw the big drop in the volume last Wednesday. I think I only had like 2 trades last Wednesday. Friday I think was only 3. Thursday was a pretty good day with quite a bit of volume. Alright, I'm going to delete these. We're pushing back down again. That is a... Where's that one I put somewhere? I think I deleted it. Don't want to look to sell just yet. Alright, I can't get into that buy. Even though it just created a higher low, I can't get into this particular buy because of where the entry would be. Alright, I'm looking to get into a sell. The entry is 67. As long as it doesn't get invalidated beforehand. And it's invalidated, so I'm breaking even. Well, it's not invalidated. My exit parameters just showed up. 2, 3. If it wins, it wins. It is what it is. And it would have lost. And that is why I break even when I do. Ooh. So it is annoying, and some of the times when I do win, it does save me from losses a lot. So I just lost commissions there. There's some divergence setting up here, but I don't really trust it. So I'm not going to take it. This was kind of like a re-entry, but I haven't practiced really much of the re-entry. So like how my break-even parameters popped up here, the re-entry kind of showed around here, but I don't really trust the re-entries just yet at all. And I actually would have gotten out of this one anyway because the break-even parameter showed up again. And I want to check something. Alright, I want to see if this would have won, even though I'm not taking it, but the transition in the divergence wasn't smooth, and I'm glad I didn't take it. I would have lost. Typically, if there's a jagged transition in the divergence, I'm okay with taking it, but it can't be counter trend. So since my overall bias is a downtrend right now, then I'm not comfortable taking the buy divergence when the transition isn't smooth. Now, had I been taking a sell divergence, since the overall trend is a downtrend for me, I would have been okay if the transition wasn't smooth. So hopefully that makes sense. I'm looking to get into a buy around 70.50. See if it can hold. It just created a double top. It's not looking too good. We'll see. It's okay. It literally hit my minor level and came back down. It happens sometimes. I used to break even when it would hit my minor level, but it's honestly not worth doing that. That was a, wait a minute. $65. Oh, that's right. That happens when you're counter training. It is what it is. It was a good trade though. I want to check. Oh, I guess that is okay. So I got quite a bit of slippage on the trade that I took at 845 is what it looks like. And then a lot of my break evens, I didn't get the one tick. So, all right. And all of my levels are weak again. So it might start pushing up from here. Got an hour left in the session. All right, I'm looking to get into a sell around 70.50. Well, that's the price for now. All right, that's invalidated. Pushed too hard off of my minor level. At some point, I'm gonna have to figure out how to because this was a good buy right here. The problem is how it transitioned from a lower low to a higher high to a higher low. I have to figure out, which I'll probably backtest today. I've done a little bit of backtesting it, but if I can figure out how to add that in, I will be good to go. Because it happens a lot. And I haven't quite figured out how to trade it. All right, if we could push up high enough, I will be looking to get into a sell. To see if the volume's gonna push back down since my overall bias is downtrend. Not yet though. Yeah, that was a perfect trade. I have to figure that out. Back at the midline. I'm so sick of that mid VWAP line. Every time we get there, we just start consolidating it. All right, I'm gonna just go back a little bit. You know what? That might be all I was missing. Oh no, I'm gonna have to. I'll remember what that one looks like. Yeah, I'm gonna have to backtest that. All right, so I am looking for sales at some point, just not right now. I'm too close to the major level where I would naturally just break even. So if we could just push up a bit more, I will look to get into the sale. But my entry, oh, and now we're rotating again, so that idea is kaput. And I would have just broken even. And there's the push off the midline again. If you don't trade with an order flow VWAP, you should. I don't know how it is compared to the regular VWAP. I have a lifetime license with Ninja, so I have the order flow VWAP. there she goes. Good morning, Granny. Oh, we got 50 minutes left. All right. All right, I'm looking to take a sell off of my mid-level. Not sure if that's going to hold. That sucks. I hope this doesn't put me into a bunch of consolidation. It's so predictable. And if this pushes up, when it literally just stopped me out right to the T as far as my ticks, my stop loss goes. This is so annoying. Let me see. I think this came literally one tick away from my auto break even. That just gets to be so annoying. We were up. It's all good. I'm just happy this didn't stop me out to the tick and then continue going. But it is what it is. I couldn't take this sell. The volume wasn't actually, yeah, I couldn't do it. It was the way it rotated off of my minor line. This is the biggest thing about trading, not allowing it to get to you. Most of the time my trades after 10 o'clock have the best win-loss ratio. But then there are times like today. I just lost twice in a row. Make sure I did. Yeah, I didn't. Looking to sell around 77. Not anymore. I forgot I need to check something. I think I could have taken that sale, honestly. This one would have been pretty clean. You know what? Let's see. Yeah, that would have been pretty clean. All right. 40 more minutes. So this is another one that went from a higher high to a lower low to a lower high. This is the one I said I'm not sure how I can trade it consistently just yet. I think that would have just invalidated it. Yeah, that's the one I just started this week. So this account I just started on Monday. So it's back below the initial balance. So it's the 5th account. We're pushing towards 350,000 total volume for the day. So far, at least. It's after 10 o'clock, so. I'm so sleepy. Hoping I can get another trade that would hopefully transition into another win before the end of the session. But we'll see. So if we can get a sell in, my entry's at 86.50. Man, I'm tired. I have not been sleeping right. I fall asleep at 10:30, wake up at 2:30, can't fall back asleep till 7, and wake right back up at 8. This is 89.25. Alright, I gotta hold off on the sale for now. I needed to push up more. The entry would be too close to these levels right here. The entry would literally be right on my major level. That's why I'm not taking it if it reverses right now. Got 30 minutes left. I guess I'll keep. I don't know what I want to do with that account. I would like to see a bigger push, My entry would be too close to the VWAP. So no sales until we push further up, at least for now. Not the biggest fan. I have to break even once it. I have like 2 ticks of wiggle room, which isn't much with the Nasdaq. We could push up a little bit higher. I'll feel more comfortable getting into the sale. It'll be just my luck though that it'll hit the entry and just take off. But a lot of times when I have to break even at this mid level, it will break even. It won't just fly through it. If it was a regular deviation level, maybe, but not the mid level. Yeah, I would have just broken even and hoped that it actually would have taken. I don't think it would have taken right there. It fell way too fast. So I'm glad I didn't get into it. So I would have definitely lost there. It would have stopped me out by 1 tick. Still wouldn't have hit my take profit by now, but I would have gotten stopped out anyway. Oh, no, I wouldn't have actually. I would have still been able to break even. I looked at the numbers wrong. And then it would have stopped me out. I would have broken even at the VWAP anyway. If we could push higher than here, I will get into a sale. That's the more ideal divergence that I'm looking for. But we have to push high enough for my entry to not be so close to this mid level. Alright, that's now invalidated. 1.8. What was that? 1.2. 1.8. Overall bias is back to an uptrend. We've switched back and forth a couple of times today so far. And this is why I don't trade past 11 o'clock. I just get so bored. And because I'm not sleeping well, I'm just so sleepy. I used to stop at 9:30, but there's so many decent opportunities between 9:30 and 11. After 11, I'm not a fan. But what was that? 1.8, right? Excuse me. Alright, that push was a bit much. Looking to buy at 850. I'm gonna set a break even, yeah, because we hit that midpoint right there, or the pivot point, I'm sorry. It's a major pivot level. Alright, I'm looking to get into a sell at 150. Break evens are killing me today. I actually lost 2 ticks on that break even. Come on, push through. Push on down, please. Just created a double bottom. I hate seeing that, but when you're trading pullbacks, it's inevitable. Come on. Yes, no, maybe so. Okay, we are losing leeway, which really sucks, but. And I'm not one who has a set, like a max profit or loss for the day, so just gotta take the setups that come. What I don't want to do is set a break even when I start to see the double top or double bottom forming, because again, with trading pullbacks, I mean, it's inevitable. Like if I get into this sell right here, I would immediately have to break even. For me, what's most important is me being able to control my emotions when it comes to the results. A good day is a good day, a bad day is a bad day. You cannot win every single day. Well, some people probably can. I know I lost quite a bit of my trailing. Yeah. I still don't know what I want to do with the fourth account, because it does renew on Monday, and now the drawdown is back down to 1,000, which I would prefer for it to be right at the 1,500 by the time I stop trading tomorrow. Otherwise, I would want it to just reset on Monday. So we'll see. And usually my strategy works pretty good when the market is volatile and when it's consolidating also, but today is just not the day, and I'm okay with that. It's just created an outside bar for a buy entry. But again, I haven't done much back testing it, so I'm not taking it. That's what it would look like. I would probably break even there since that's a major level. Tired, tired. I guess that is something I can look into. Let's see. I'm just looking back at some of the trades from earlier. That one was fine. All right. So a little bit of leeway that I made this week. I think I'm like negative for the week now. Let me see. I'm still up like $400 for the week. I made really good leeway on Tuesday. Monday was a slightly positive day. Tuesday was really good. Wednesday was a slight loss, and then today just sucks. I'll show you. This is what my graph looks like right now. And then this is what it looks like since Wednesday of last week. So I'm still up like $1,000 from last Wednesday to today. And it's the short trades, but I mean, I have to take them. They follow my rules. But I'm like 70% wins on longs, and the net profit is 2,700. And then for short trades, I'm at 39% with a loss of 1,600. So the short trades are really screwing me, but I don't like to only trade based on bias. I like to trade what I see. And granted, there's about 400, actually more. It's probably about $500 worth of profit that's missing. And that's just for this week alone, so I'm not worried about it. It is what it is. This is why this is a marathon and not a sprint. Who the hell is that? Who is this person? All right, I don't think I'm gonna get any trades in the next 8 minutes. Minute wait, okay. I do need to go through today and record all my trades in my Excel spreadsheet. Even though I have an online trade journal, there's just so much more I could put in Excel than I can put in a physical journal or an online journal. And it actually will help to track like the stats of the trades that I take. That way, if there's a specific pattern that maybe is showing up that, hey, this isn't as accurate or this is producing a lot of losses, I can catch it ahead of time. Because what I like to do when I backtest is I create an Excel spreadsheet and I put a column for like every variable that I could possibly think of that I see on the chart. And then once I'm done recording all the trades in Excel, I will highlight all of the losses. I will bold them and make them red. And I kind of go through each column to see like, okay, this particular variable has 70% losses. But that doesn't always mean that you should make that particular variable like a rule. Sometimes it's because it's in combination with something else that's truly the problem. So I'm really analytical. And my strategy as it is not something that has a lot of losing days. Now, for me, I would prefer for my losing days to be less than $300, which I'm pretty much at. Like $250 to $300 is kind of like all right, you doing a little much. But I know that market conditions change and you're not always going to win. So you have to be able to take that into account. What's most important for me is I took every trade. I didn't go on tilt or take any trade that was not valid. I think I took one trade like that earlier, but it wasn't because of that. It was just because I didn't have my chart moved far enough for me to be able to see the bar status to see where the candle was going to close. And as soon as I got into it, I realized that I hit the break even button. I could have stayed in it and just said, oh, let's see what happens, because it was a good setup and it would have won, but I got out of it. So for me, my biggest goal is I want to trade like a robot. I don't want to make any emotional decisions as far as entries, exits, any of that. Because once your emotions and the psych part gets into it, that's when you are all over the place, and that's what I don't want. So that's just what's most important to me personally. And I also believe that's how you really know your true edge, when you have a set rules that you follow for entry, exit, break evens, things like that. That's how you know your edge. And as long as I have a strategy that can survive volatile and consolidating markets, I'm a-okay. I don't expect much around this time of the year, honestly. But I still want to trade because that's the only way for me to know, what can and can't happen. Who knows? It might be something where, like, every year around Christmas, the week before and the week of, I just take off. Who knows? I could have just gotten into this buy. I just didn't because I saw the VWAP and my major level here. I would have had to break even, and it just would have been another break even trade anyway. And And with the way the market's been moving, it probably would have broke me even and not allowed me to get the one tick. So I'd have just lost more money in commissions and stuff. So got a minute left. Only way I'll get into a trade is if it pushes down to this low right here to create divergence to go back up, since my bias is an uptrend. It's got like 15 seconds. I don't think it's gonna get up here, and if it does, it's too close. Right. All right, so stats. The loss was almost 1,200 today. 200 of that was commissions. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with this account yet. I might purposely fail it tomorrow just to reset it starting Monday, or the rebill is Monday, so I would start trading it the following week. This account will be added when I start trading next week. So yeah, I'm gonna have to think on that. This account rebuilds on the 1st, so I have time for that one, and this one rebuilds on the 5th, so I have time for that one as well. I'm really tired. So yeah, so we'll see. I don't feel anything. I'm not upset or anything. It just, I'm really tired. But yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully the volume tomorrow is like it was today, but it gives me more wins, and hopefully I can recover a little bit tomorrow, but we'll see. So for anybody watching in the future, and if you tuned in while I was live, thank you for tuning in, and I will be live again tomorrow.